Hey, my name's James Nicholson, and in this video I want to talk about should you be buying flats or should you be buying houses as an investor. Now, this channel is all about my property journey. I'm currently buying an investment portfolio with my daughter Georgia, and I'm going to be buying one for my baby Amelie. So join us on this journey, see how we do. By doing that, to find out how it all works, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification. Now, I've been investing for 20 years. I bought my first property, more than 20 years now, when I was 18 years old, back in 1999. Remember it very well. And my first property that I bought was a flat, right? And so I bought a leasehold flat. It's above a restaurant. I still own it today in Dorking in Surrey, down by the Dorking Halls, if you know Dorking. And that property I bought at the time for £45,000. And because it was a residential mortgage, I didn't need a huge deposit. I was in on that deal for just £3,000 as my deposit, which was pretty crazy, right? And that property has gone on to 5 times in value now. So it's currently worth more than £250,000. I bought it as a studio flat. In fact, I lived there. If you know my story, I'm a business coach and mentor as well. And I actually started my first iPod accessory business in that property. Every delivery, I would pack it up every single evening, and it was a studio flat for more than 10 years when I lived there. And then what I did was I moved out, I refinanced it and got future properties. So with that first property, when the value went up, I then took out some equity and I used that to buy a flat in Hastings in Sussex. Then I had 2 properties. I had 2 flats now, both going up in value, and then I took equity out both of those a few years later, and then I bought a house. Now, you want to know, is it better to buy houses or is it better to buy flats? Well, this is an investment property I'm in here. If you check out the channel, you can see the progress of this renovation. This is in Doncaster. It's a 2-bedroom terraced house. Now, pros and cons. Well, flats, they're cheaper, obviously, to get into, right? It's a lot cheaper to buy a flat than it is to buy a house. Now, you also only have one roof. So if a flat has a roof that has a problem, the costs of that get shared between multiple people, right? Obviously, other things are shared. If there's cleaners in the corridors and stuff like that, those costs are split amongst various other people as well. Now, on a house, if your house has a leak in the roof, then it's all down to you. It's your problem to fix it, and that could be a considerable sum of money that maybe you didn't budget for. And so there are pros and cons. Now, here's what I prefer. I prefer houses, right? Why? Because I've just told you the costs on a flat get dispersed amongst as many people that live there. The problem I find with flats is a few things. One is leaseholds. I've made some videos on this channel about the new leasehold reform that's coming in the next few years that potentially might eliminate the cost, the vast costs of changing your lease or extending a lease if you drop below a certain amount of years. So that's a consideration. So when you buy a flat, you will get a lease on that. You don't actually physically own it. You have it for a number of years. It could be 999, it could be 99 years, right? And so then if that drops below a certain amount, then you have to pay to renew the lease to the freeholder. That can be very, very expensive. If you go below 70 years, they can go for something called marriage rights, which means that any value that is added onto the property by extending the lease, you get half each. So if you extend the lease and they say, well, that's going to add 50 grand in value, you've got to pay them 25 grand. 25 grand for a privilege of extending it. So that's a big, big problem. Now, in my portfolio, I have flats, right? And I don't sell, right? I don't sell property at all. I always hold because I feel it's a good long-term investment and it's expensive to sell. But those leasehold flats have caused me a number of issues over the years, legal issues. So one of the flats I have, the second property I got in Hastings, all working very well. We all own, there's 3 flats in there. We all own a third each of the freehold. and everyone got along. All the maintenance was done. One new guy moved in, and he is really, really aggressive, and he's constantly trying to take people to court there to do huge amounts of building works. He only wants to use his building firm as well. We've been to court twice on that property. He's never won. The judge, fortunately, is on our side, but that's just stress that you don't need. And if he did win, we might potentially have to do a huge renovation. He was talking about 100 grand in renovation on a property that's only worth 100 grand, right? It's not worth doing the work. But he's got deep pockets, and that's one thing that he wanted to do, right? And so that could be an issue. I've had other disputes with leaseholders in flats where people have done work without permission, or people are arguing about that some people want to decorate the corridors or put new carpets in, and there's just so much going on. Whereas a house, like this house here in Doncaster, I can do what I want to it. If I want to put new windows in, I'll put new windows in. If I want to put new roof in, I'll put new roof in, and I can do it in my schedule. I know when I'm ready to do that. And I hope that makes sense, right? So you've got two totally different types of business, leasehold and freehold. The leasehold is generally a flat, freehold is a house. And I just think that houses, if you can buy, are better. Now, in the south, you might not be able to afford a house. It's very expensive if you want to buy in London a house, or Surrey or Kent or one of the home counties. So if that's the case, you might need to look slightly further afield. Like we've gone to Doncaster because the numbers stack up here. I've got good connections here. I've got a great client in my business coaching that runs Doncaster's biggest estate agent. So I have connections here, but maybe you could find one of these Midlands properties or a Northern property that gives you that option to really find a decent property that you can work on and get that return. So all in all, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think you'd rather buy flats or houses? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do smash that like button, guys. Just go on, it's only there. Smash it quickly. Subscribe to the channel. Join us on this journey. Come and see what this house looks like in a month from now. We should be finished in a month. We should be renovated, done, ready, refinanced. We bought this property for 60 grand. We're hoping to get it valued at 100. Is that going to happen? I don't know. You don't know. But the only way to find out is to subscribe and find out in the next few weeks. So do join us, do learn some stuff. Any questions you've got, comment below, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye for now.